Hello everyone, Cassie McClenahan here with Patriot Property Management and my partner, investor Brian Gubernick. Brian, as an investor in real estate, lots of real estate, how do you know when it's the right time to sell a rental property?
This is a tricky one. You should not be selling rental properties for the most part. I want to just come right out and say, I believe that if you have a great property and it's appreciating over time, it's probably one you hold, maybe even hold indefinitely. Now, there are certain situations. The first thing that comes to mind for me is if I have a property, even if it's going up in value, but there's negative cash flow on that property, meaning that my mortgage payment and the expenses with that property is greater than, say, the rent I have coming in. So I have negative cash flow every month. That can really create a financial burden. And so there are times where you'd want to sell if in fact you're finding yourself with negative cash flow. The next thing, this is especially the thing I look at, is rate of return. If your rate of return is less, your rate of return on this property is less than you can get somewhere else, it might make sense to sell this property and reposition that cash into another property. First thing I'm going to look at is the cash flow of the property, or projected cash flow, meaning that if I have a mortgage and other expenses as my outflow, what's my inflow? In other words, what am I going to get for rent? So number one, I want to look at cash flow. Number two, I should say 1A and 1B. 1B would be the rate of return. So you can calculate your rate of return, and in doing so, you can compare it against other investment opportunities. Now, specific to the property, things I like to see. I want to know what's going on in the surrounding area, specifically businesses. Like what's going on in that business environment? Are we seeing a thriving community? Are we seeing a lot of employment, right? Are there some really good anchor tenants nearby? Is there a close supermarket? Are there, close gas stations? Are there things that matter to tenants? Because when I rent my property, I want it to be as marketable as possible. And the more distance from great businesses and a business community, sometimes the more challenge we have in renting properties. I think about access to medical care, right? The reality is we have an aging population, and there is a need, probably more so than ever before, to have access to medical care. So what's the nearest hospital? What urgent cares are around? These things actually matter to tenants. We're seeing it more and more now where our tenants want to know what's the proximity of these types of services.
If you're considering buying a rental property and you want more information or you want to know specifically what something will rent for, please reach out to us. We're happy to provide that free of charge.